Do you remember, Brian, since this back and forth, we started calling it a wrestling war, then I think we've settled into, as I referenced the other day, Tony's tilting at some windmills. But at various points over the last 3 years or whatever, we've said, AEW they might just be ready to make a run at this thing. And then 3 or 4 weeks later, they'd shoot themselves in the foot how. And then every once in a while, we would say, it looks like the WWE is trying to throw this thing. And then something would happen and they'd get a little better. And then every once in a while, we'd say, it looks like neither side wants to win this. But then something would happen. But now I think it has come down to the WWE is going to get richer than they've ever been while boring us all to tears. And AEW, they apparently are going to be locked up in a proverbial padded cell as a program for completely melting down on the air. And I guess they're trying to attract viewers now by making people want to, how do the kids say it? Watch it ironically. In other words, hey, look at this stupid shit. You got to see this silly ass bullshit. Is that how they're going to mount their offensive?
I don't know, and things could always happen, and there's been word recently that there are a lot of WWE contracts coming up for 2024 that have not been renewed yet. I don't know who exactly, or...
Oh boy, that's exactly what they need.
Well, what I was going to say is, it feels to me like AEW has hit a point. Like, remember there was, I hate to go back to TNA again, but remember when there was optimism around TNA, like, you know what, there's a real shot.
I was there for a point of that.
And then after it didn't work out, it just trolleyed along, and it still is. But nothing ever happened. The audience never got bigger again. With AEW, it's becoming a worse and worse show. Where you watch it and you're like, what the fuck is AEW doing? And I've been watching since the beginning. I've seen all sorts of stupid shit. Lately, there's fucking home invasions. There's fucking bad segments in homes. There's...
The person writing the show should be confined to a home.
And that's the other problem. Whether you like AEW or not, and a lot of these guys, obviously, as everyone knows, really get to do what they want, but Tony wants to put his stamp on things. The same guy's writing the show today that was writing it 4 years ago, whatever. And it's not getting better, it's getting worse. And right now, they're at a point in time where they have to renew their deal, apparently, with their partner at Warner Brothers Discovery, and they're going to...
We have established through Tony's own slipping lips that Warner owns some part of this thing, whether or not they have any say in creative or voting. How did he phrase it? Any of the voting, he has 100% of that, but they got a piece of this thing.
We can say that we've heard from a few sources, and then actually another one got in touch a couple weeks ago after we talked about something on the air. And everyone says the same thing. These are people with connections outside of wrestling, just media reporters who are not wrestling fans. The word on the street is that Warner Brothers Discovery owns a piece of AEW. Now, whether that means they literally own a piece of it with Shad and Tony, or whether that means while they are on Warner Brothers Discovery program, while their programs, I should say, are on Warner Brothers Discovery television, they get a allotted split of profits. That's interesting because remember, we keep hearing from Tony's own lips that Warner Brothers Discovery wants more pay-per-views. They want
why.
They want monthly pay-per-view. They want to get money monthly. So we don't know exactly what the deal is, how it's structured, but I could say, again, we now have I think 3 different people outside of wrestling. Word on the street is that Warner Brothers Discovery has a piece of it. So we'll see what that means.
Is this company starting to become one of those that the TV network knows, well, we're not going to get a lot of people, but we're going to get a smaller number that are very loyal? If we're getting a piece of the pay-per-view, we're not going to get a big number on pay-per-view like goddamn multi-million-dollar Conor McGregor fight, but we're going to get, there's 100,000 of these people will buy anything we put out every month, every week, even whatever the case. Are they starting to look at it like that?
We don't know how they're looking at it, but here's what we could say. Not to take anything away from any of the misdeeds of Vince McMahon and not to forgive him for any of them. This isn't about that. But when a network dealt with Vince McMahon, if you're ever hearing interviews with anyone who's done business with him, they feel like they're dealing with a serious person who knows what he's doing and is more than likely in control of himself.
Yes.
Tony's a different kind of person. So you're David Zaslav or anyone who's an executive over there, whoever replaces Zaslav eventually, you're dealing with a different animal. And it's his company. It's his baby. It's his project. I mean, I joked about it. It's his trust fund. I mean, this is his money.
Yeah.
It's a different thing. I mean, do they think Tony is as serious as a serious business person? Have any of the, whatever you want to call them, scandals, self-induced scandals, embarrassing episodes time after time after time? Has anyone over there gotten a little tired of that? We don't know. Is there anyone over there who's still just, we really need and want wrestling on the network? We don't know. And again, it goes back to we don't know the exact nature of the AEW Time Warner Discovery relationship. And the problem with these media scrums and media interviews that Tony does, he loves doing them. And people in wrestling media typically want to be there and be part of the action. But who's getting a real question answered? He doesn't answer anything about any of this stuff. And it's a private company. So we don't know very much, but it's impossible to tell me you could look at AEW right now where they are and the direction of the programming and think that things look good.